computer. Okay, now screen share. There's that. Slideshow and slideshow. Excellent. And what I am going to start off with is kind of where we left off at the tail end of cosmic rays' influence on our biofield physiology, because just to kind of iterate, whatever it's called. The field of nutrigenomics explores how food and epigenetics work together to influence health and well-being. Our diets have also been shown to modify epigenetic tags in significant ways. DNA methylation is a major epigenetic modification involving the addition of a methyl group to the 5 position of cytosine by DNA methyltransferase to form 5-methylcytosine 5-MC. This epigenetic mark has the power to turn genes on and or off and can be inherited through cell division. So I kind of wanted to just say that to give us a starting point of, like, you know, because the cosmic rays are how come where's my picture? Am I on there?
I can see you.
Yeah, I can see you.
Oh, maybe it's when who's talking. Okay. So anyways, because usually it lined up 3. But why I wanted to, why I wanted to say that is because of the, you know, this what we talked about before, the secondary particles, ionized particles coming in, the chorus waves are these waves that are actually stressing our endocrine and nervous system. So that's what's given us these ascension symptoms, right? Because we're in a higher frequency and the density is changing, right? These particles are moving faster, they're at a different frequency, and so your body water is changing. It's changing a molecular structure, so that's why it's the terminology, or the descriptive terminology for it is it's a transmutational process, morphogenesis. Okay, so now I'm going to read this little part here, and then we're going to get into stimulating autophagy for mitochondrial health. Okay, so apoptosis, I'm just want to read some definitions here. Apoptosis is the process by which cells die in response to the actions of certain signaling proteins. The opposite is polygenosis. Polygenosis. Okay, so the mTORC1 is a complex of multiple proteins. Originally, let me see if there's some other little slides here. Anyways, the mTORC1 is a complex of multiple proteins originally named for its reaction to the antibiotic rapamycin. These proteins are an important internal signaling complex implicated in many normal and abnormal processes of cell growth and division. In addition, the complex of multiple proteins, mTORC1, may regulate energy use and growth within cells. When a mature cell is damaged, its signaling molecules may promote the activation of internal lysosomes and autophagy, which we're going to talk about autophagy, and then autophagy is a stressor, right? Like when you do intermittent fasting. So another stressor, well, there's kind of good and bad stressor. Exercise causes autophagy too when you're exercising. So you're talking, and then the secondary particles coming in is a stressor as well. And it's a good stressor like exercise and some of these healthy nutritional things that we're going to talk about. So these symptoms actually that are coming in is causing us to regenerate cells and hence add to our DNA structure, that dormant DNA. It's changing the molecular structure of our water because we're 80% water. So it will be able to hold more energy. I mean, this is a real thing. I mean, it's unbelievable to me that people, the ringing in the ear too. I told you when mine started 11/11 or 2011, November 11th. That's when, and then mine's slowly, the ringing in my ears been raised since then. How about you guys?
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. How about you, Brad?
Yeah, I really haven't had too much like saying change and difference other than I just felt a little bit more in tune with a lot of stuff, but nothing like major in a sense like I like it well also I've been having these like tension headaches next to my pineal gland. So I don't know if that might be
That's from the air showers, from the cosmic rays coming in, those particles, because that's exactly what it's doing, is it's decalcifying your pineal gland, and those are and that's part of your endocrine system, the pineal, pituitary, thyroid, all of those glands are getting that radiation. And that's why one of the tips or the tools is to like get yourself some iodine, that liquid iodine, or like a kelp iodine or something, and take that when you have the headache, along with maybe some turmeric or some also the white willow bark, because that was the original aspirin, quote, right? That's
okay.
Yeah, that's what they did. They actually just took they always do that with plants. They just take one of the compounds in the white willow bark and they synthesized it, and then they called that chemical aspirin or whatever.
Aspirin.
They sell it to you. It's just white willow bark. It works really good for me.
Oh, it does. Okay.
Yeah, I even after my workouts too. Sometimes I'll do actual turmeric root and ginger root in my smoothie, and then I'll do some white willow bark, maybe some branch chain amino acids too, because I work out pretty hard or whatever. But anyways, that's one of the things that you can do when you have those symptoms.
Okay, thanks.
And then when there's more, when I usually post like on through Facebook, Twitter, all of those, Telegram, all of those social media sites, I post like when there's a big air shower, and then you go, oh, Trav said there's going to be an air shower. I'm gonna take a little tincture of my kelp iodine. It'll help your thyroid gland, and it'll help like alleviate some of the symptoms coming in from the gamma radiation, basically, is what it is.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Nice.
Okay. So renewing of cells and where ATP energy is made, the mitochondria outer cell membrane reacts to the electrical impulses as well as the chemical hormonal balance acts. So that's what's going on. So there's different hormonal things going on because it's making your immune system stressed. So your body has to figure out what it's doing, right? And so that's when people, like when there's huge air showers, some people have nausea, they feel like flu. Some people have flu-y symptoms, respiratory, the sinus headache, of course, because it's doing the endocrine system, and the ringing in the ear, all of it. Ascension symptoms, yeah, man.
Yeah, I mean, I'm getting a lot of that.
And of course, I might have to post this one on Rumble, but instead of YouTube, but the allopathic medicine module, they're just like talking about all this other stuff instead of, actually telling us why we're shifting, why the Earth's poles are shifting, that heating up at different places, because it's an astronomical positions of where we're at. Anyway, lysosomes are subcellular bodies in which cell fragments can be packaged to ensure that they don't pose a risk to any tissues, similar to exosomes or other cells in the vicinity. Autophagy is the phenomenon by which this said cellular fragments enter their lysosomes. This process is associated with the upregulation and some genes and the downregulation of some others, including mTORC1. Okay, so we're going to read Stimulating Autophagy for Mitochondrial Health. Okay, so let's see where we at here. Exercise, yeah. So this is what we're talking about. There are a variety of ways to rid our biological body of accumulated toxins, from detoxifying foods like acai berries, you know, or blueberries, or you know, our what's wild out here, our blackberries, right, are wild. Those are really good. To natural detox agents such as hinoki, cypress tree, bamboo vinegar foot pads, to hot springs, saunas, sweating it out at the gym. Okay, so there's different ways to go about the heavy metals, because that taking out those kind of toxins out of our water, that our avatar, helps too with clarity in the mind, because there's a lot of like heavy metals that get in your mind when you get older too. And so that it muddies and kind of gives you a lot of fog, so that you can't think straight, basically, as clearly. Okay. So some of those tools, you guys know about the, you know, put, you know, raw apple cider vinegar in your like foot water or something. You can do that, or there's pads you can get to stick on, the bamboo ones with the, and they usually have and the bath salts too, to take the bath with. There's fairly cheap now too, and they have what is it called, what's Epsom salts, sulfur, well, the chloride one, the flakes ones, the sulfur chloride or whatever, the magnesium chloride, that one, right? The one that comes with either hinoki tree, which is the cousin tree of the cedar and the fir trees, that bark, if it's in your salts in your bath, it sucks the toxins out of your skin, out of your epidermis. It sucks all those heavy metals. And if you're in a bathtub with that in it for about 20 to 30 minutes, it will leave a black ring on your tub, because it just pulls out mass toxins. It's so good. And you can buy those little packages now at like natural grocers, the co-ops, all of those things for like $4, and you can use it like 3 times. Yeah. Okay, so moving on. Couple of health tips there. The biological process known as autophagy plays a key role in eliminating toxins. Okay, we got that. Damaging and toxins and damaged cells in your biological body. The term autophagy means self-eating and refers to the process by which our biological body cleans out various debris, including toxins, and recycles damaged cell components. Autophagy helps to clear out these damaged cells from our biological body, including senescent cells that serve no functional purpose but still linger inside tissue and organs. For this reason, it's so important to remove senescent and damaged cells, is because they can trigger inflammatory pathways and contribute to various diseases. That's how you can get cancer started and stuff. If people that don't juice or do intermittent fasting or some kind of fasting, because you cleanse out all of that dead tissue, and if it's just still sitting there with the toxins combined, like, you know, not good.
Recipe for disaster.
Huh?
I said recipe for disaster.
Exactly. So yeah, you got to clean. Well, if you think about it, like what I said, you know, in earlier times, or like when we were like more indigenous tribes, we were always walking and eating wild foods, and like, you know, you didn't eat for a day or two, you know, you got some water and you're like, and you flushed out a whole bunch of stuff. Like all the time. So anyways, all right. So we will let us go a little bit further into mitophagy, the mitochondria. Remember I told you about the Where maybe I might have a picture of it. MDA replication. Maybe there's one in here. Epigenetics. Epigenetics and gene activation, exercise, nutritional factors, anti-inflammatory, transcription, emotional health. Oh, emotional health. Yeah. Environmental. So yeah, I think it was back at the beginning, previous, maybe a picture here. Like more like that. It's, where does it show the cell actually? Anyways, it's one of these organelle. It's one of these inside the cell. It's like, what does it look like? It looks more like, because I don't know. It's one of those, not that. It's usually more like that kind of a one or something. Anyways, the mitochondria that's inside the cell. Okay, so that's what we're talking about, and mitophagy. So are essential organelles that regulate cellular energy, homeostasis, and cell death. The removal of damaged mitochondria through autophagy, a process called mitophagy, is thus critical to maintaining proper cellular functions. Mitophagy has been recently proposed to play critical roles in terminal differentiation of red blood cells, paternal mitochondrial degradation, neurodegenerative diseases, and ischemia, or drug-induced tissue injury. Drug-induced tissue injury. I probably have some of that from a long time ago, drinking lots of beer. Removal of damaged mitochondria through autophagy requires few steps. The induction of general autophagy and priming of damaged mitochondria for selective autophagic recognition. Now, to stimulate autophagy, our liver glycogen needs to be low. We need to suppress mTOR, which in the pathway that signals our cells to grow and replicate. We need to upregulate AMP-K, which is the fuel sensor that gets released in energy deprivation and fat burning. And we need to be in this depleted state for at least a day or even more. Autophagy is a matter of degree, and it's happening in different tissues all the time. There are foods and compounds that boost autophagy, as well as exercise and heat saunas that can stimulate autophagy. Whenever our biological body is in this depleted state, we're burning more fat. We're keeping our lymph system active, and we're stimulating autophagy more. That was one of the things that the bodybuilders did back in the day. This is before it got popular, is they would do like coconut oil and stuff like that for their good fat, because that's not like a toxin, because bad fat from like refined sugars, right? It's basically a toxin. It's not really fat. It's just toxic waste, because your liver, your kidneys, your endocrine system can't process it. So the inside your cells are going, hey, we can't process. Let's go shove it to the side. So they shove it to the side, and it stores it as toxic waste. Anyways, crazy. So anyways, and then when you're burning off that too, when you do some kind of like the intermittent fasting, the exercise, the sauna, so that's why it's so important, like older people like me, staying active, even just going, sometimes if I don't go to the gym, I just go for a really nice long walk in nature, right? So it's important to stay active, obviously, with this thing that we're given, this avatar. Okay, so we're into that. This is one of the main reasons why the keto diet, Mediterranean diet, a plant-based diet, vegan diet, intermittent fasting, structured water fasting, and juice fasting, etc., etc., etc. Sorry, I'm laughing because I got that from Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory when Gene Wilder said are becoming so popular. scientific evidence to back basic ancient holistic health techniques and practices. Okay, so visible ways to stimulate autophagy. Exercise. Autophagy occurs in response to stress. In fact, exercise is one of the ways. Boosts autophagy. Exercising creates mild damage to your muscles and tissue that our biological body, when it repairs and reshapes our body water, quote, which then makes our biological body stronger. Exercise also helps flush out toxins by sweating and is helpful for just about any detox protocol. Let's consider exercise a foundation aspect of effective detoxification. Exercise plays dual role. That is not as only stimulates autophagy, but is also one of the most potent stimulators of mitochondrial biogenesis. That's when you regenerate this mitochondria in your cells, and that's what gives you energy. So think about, like, if Gandhi didn't get killed, because he was a great faster, I think that guy would have lived a heck of a lot long. I think he would have went 120 years or something. I don't know. You know, he was really into that. So exercise, increasing signal in our biological body, AMP-K, which in turn activates PGC1 alpha by stimulating our mitochondria, the organelles in nearly every cell that produce ATP to work harder. Our mitochondria start making reactive oxygen species, they call it ROS, which act as signaling molecules. One of the functions that they signal is to make more mitochondria. So the intermittent fasting, got that. It means eating like maybe in a window. You guys all know about that, right? Like in your 8-hour window, maybe 8:16. They call it 8:16. That's a good one. Or if you
eating,
yeah.
Like it's almost like the Ramadan fast.
Yeah, but you can do it. I try to do it as much as I can, because then it puts me in a good, like, if you can do it, start getting into it, then it just like any habit forming, whether it's bad or deconstructive habit forming or constructive, it takes about 12 weeks to form these habits for some reason for us in our brain. I don't know. That's why, like me doing smoothies, it was like every other day I started doing it. And then after about 12 weeks, it's like, I can't stop now. You know, it's like, it's been years. No, I'm serious. Like if you take on, like, it's like going to the gym now. Now I've become like this gym rat. I mean, and I never thought that I would be like that, but it's helped me so much. It's helped rebuild tissue and ligaments and stuff, so I can actually do some like nice day hikes now.
Yeah.
Because I hate it when I go hiking and there's like somebody in their 80s and they're passing me. And you're like, what? So anyways, okay, so yeah, the intermittent fasting, really good, plus the exercise. But this is all okay. Well, let's just read on here. I probably say something. Take place because they are working on digestion. Oh yeah. So your gut microbiome, what happens when you're intermittent fasting or fasting is like all of these good bacteria that's in your stomach, especially if you take any kind of good, or you eat out of a garden, or you fermented foods, or you know, even yogurts, good yogurts or kefir or whatever you like. If you have that good bacteria in your stomach, this is what happens, because your body's not digesting after, like if you quit at 7 o'clock, you stop eating, and then you go until the next day, like noon or something, that bacteria, when you're sleeping, it will go and help you. It will go, oh, you've got tissue we need to repair. Instead of 60, because 60%, if you're eating past a certain time, or you're eating all the time, your body, it's like 60% of the energy is processing all of that. So sometimes people are sleeping and their body's working overtime, and then that it's still working. And so that's why like people unfortunately pass on or die like early, because they're always just constantly, their cells are like dying off because they've just spent all their time and energy on digesting food.
Mhm,
I'm not
mhm,
kidding. I mean, I could give you a great example about my dad. I mean, you know, he sat in front of that TV in that recliner, and he didn't exercise. He didn't do anything at all, and he kept stuffing himself with like weird, you know, top ramen and weird Nally's chili and
mhm,
all this weird stuff. And then he ended up going to the bathroom and exploding.
mhm.
And they, well, you know, I'm sure, and the coroner, of course, they say, or they those guys came in and said, "Oh, he died of natural causes." It wasn't natural causes. He was over toxified. Jeez.
Oh, yeah. Wow.
Mhm.
Anyways, okay, low carb dieting as well. Let's see, what do we got here? Biological energy, some 20 hours or more. Okay, that's all about fasting and getting the good microorganisms in your body. Another thing for you guys, I don't know if you know this one, but the cheapest route to go to get like, well, instead of buying kombuchas all the time or whatever, or making your own, of course. But another cool thing is to get raw apple cider vinegar, because you can
Mhm.
take maybe half a capful, like really small amount, and put it and dilute it. I dilute it in like a whole bunch of water or some flavored water, whatever, and then drink it after 7 o'clock. And when you're sleeping, you know what happens. And if you're intermittent fasting, it will go, because there's 97 other bacteria in they call it the mother or their SCOBY of, you know, raw
Mhm.
apple cider vinegar. That
Mhm.
that bacteria, it will go and eat away that bad toxin, the bad fat. It will go eat
Mhm.
away all the donuts that we eat, you
Mhm.
know, and bagels and whatever, all of that. Seriously, while we're sleeping, it will go and like it'll run this, it'll help stimulate more autophagy and in your body, and it'll help get rid of it for the next day. It's an amazing thing. Like if you do intermittent fasting and you make some kind of like fire cider. Do you know what fire cider is, you guys?
Yeah, I
No.
never heard of it.
Oh, fire cider is like a raw apple cider vinegar, and then they usually put like some pepper, some cayenne or something in it, and turmeric, because that's almost like a curry. Just they make like an anti-inflammatory, or you can put ginger root or garlic. You know, you can make fire cider all different types of ways. But if you put that in your
Hmm.
fridge, you make your own batch and put it in your fridge, make a fire cider. Look that up.
Mhm.
There's a million YouTube things, I'm sure. And then you put some of that in, you drink a little bit of that with, you know, dilute it because it might be too harsh. And then you dilute it and
Mhm.
drink that at night. Oh my gosh. If anybody ever wants to lose weight, all they have to do is just start doing intermittent fasting. And it's not that hard to do, because you only have to do like, I mean, 12 to 16 hours. So, I mean, just don't eat past 6 o'clock. And then in the next day,
Mhm.
drink some tea or whatever without milk or whatever. You can drink a ton of water too. And you can drink, what else can you drink? I think you can drink coconut water. I don't know. You can kind of liquid it out until you can, you know, eat and break your fast. That's, you know. And
Mhm.
anyways, if you add that fire cider,
Mm.
you if you want to ever like, yeah, I'm pretty sure the bodybuilders do a lot of that. They do a lot of that. um what were they doing? They were doing it wasn't that fast. Yeah, it was mostly because the protein shakes, and so they do the liquid. It's called almost like an intermittent fast with protein type shakes, or these certain type shakes. Anyways,
Mhm.
okay, where were we? Nutritional ketogenesis, or the ketogenic diet. Okay, there is so much information about this out there that I will just say that harmful fats like processed vegetable oils will make our health worse. No, not only is it a process, but it's very high in omega-6 oils, and excess omega-6 fats will integrate into the inner mitochondrial membrane. So think about like a donut has vegetable oil in it or something like that,
Mhm.
or even like bad bagels, or God, what else? I don't know, just all kinds of stuff if you read the labels on things. But some of those are bad fats for you, and right, and that they will integrate into the inner mitochondrial membrane and become highly susceptible to oxidative damage, causing our mitochondria
Yo, Uh-huh. Oh, okay. Yeah.
causing our mitochondria to die prematurely. Now we
Hmm.
covered some of this in Alchemical Wizard 30, the omegas. Remember to replace, and remember that that I on the website, all of these blogs are on the website. And then also on the YouTube channel, I put all the blogs in short form in the AI, you know, the computer generated voice. I did all of that in a short little blogs or videos or whatever. Anyway,
Did you use that GPT?
no, not that, but this is
okay.
a couple of years ago or whatever. I already, yeah, I built that YouTube channel years ago. I mean, I don't know.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, this whole non-profit just happened over a course of 7 years. I mean, or whatever. I mean, I was just, I was I wrote the book, and then had some videos for my clients, basically, because I was holistic health coach for like 7 years. So I had clients
Oh, okay. Nice.
yeah.
Hmm.
So all this whole thing just got, you know, massive, I guess, just by doing it. So let's see, where were we? We're gonna unprocessed fats found in real whole foods such as seeds, nuts, and olives, and organic, raw, virgin, extra. Oh, so those are the good ones, the omega 6 fats that are healthy, right? Coconut oil, extra virgin, you know, and the olive oil, of course, and avocado oil. So I usually, like the other night, I took extra virgin coconut oil and I popped my organic popcorn in that. And then you don't even have to use butter or anything. Yeah. And then, if you can, if splurge for the money, splurge on this. Check this out. Celtic salt, not pink Himalayan salt, the Celtic salt. Try to get that and use that kind of salt because it's got trace minerals in it. It's from the sea, right? The Celtic salt, that's really good. It's got trace minerals in it. And just, you can even put some of that in your water if you want. I mean, there's different ways to budget, you know, instead of buying. I mean, people buy trace mineral liquid forms to put in their water and stuff to kind of try to structure their water, vortex. But you can use a little bit of Celtic salt too. Yeah. Another health tip from Trav.
That's great. That's great.
Have you ever, Travis, have you ever tried Rochelle salt?
No, I don't think I think I've heard of it. What is it? Remind me.
Well, it's supposed to be it helps with conductivity, electric conductivity in the water.
Huh.
Yeah.
What's it called?
Rochelle, ROCHELLE salt.
Huh. I'll have to look that up. Cool.
Yeah.
And then something that we can actually ingest.
I don't know if you can ingest it, but I think it'll be good for like a soothing bath.
Oh.
You know, it probably can help the because like I said, we supposed to have electrical charge going through our system. It might helps with that, like when you're taking a bath, help with the current in your body.
Well, one of the things, cool. I'm gonna have to look that up. One of the things about the trace minerals is one of the trace. If you can get it, you know, sometimes you get little pieces of, you get copper, which helps. And if you're older like me, I take some like magnesium too and stuff. But or just eating like kale, leafy greens has magnesium in it. If you can get the good farmers ones or organic, but that helps. The copper and the silvers or whatever, some of those trace minerals that you can get, some of those help run the electrical system, help run the magnesium around your body. I mean, you can't, people don't, I mean, it depends. You'd have to get like almost a DNA genetic, from the health guys or whatever. One of those things to see if you're lacking in some of those minerals or whatever, but you know, because you don't want to overdo copper, but if it helps with your electrical system as well. Yeah. So that's why one of the reasons why structured water, which is we used to drink the artesian natural spring waters that were vortexed and are structured, which means it's like OH H2O. right. It's like there's
Mm.
combos of water that like they're not. It's not H320 basically, but it's OH H2O or so, molecular structures that kind of start kind of sort of combining. Anyways, out in the wild, right? From the cool rivers and stuff where we used to drink all that good water. Because they pick up the crystals, they pick up those minerals and stuff, and we used to drink that. And then it's highly charged too from the sun, right? And it's vortex.
Mm-hmm.
And now I probably said this last webinar that we had, but the water we're drinking now mostly, I mean, even me,
it doesn't see the sun.
Right. And it's filtered water, sure, but it's not energized. So what happens is our body actually has to waste energy energizing that water. Yeah. So that's why those people that have there's machines you can get now to electrify your water better and stuff like that. They're $500 or more or whatever. And then there's, just natural spring waters you can buy too, or a well that you have on your property or whatever, there's like structured water that you can drink that's already charged. And then when it goes in, it feels so good. You can feel it. You can totally like when I go down to Mount Shasta and get water from right from the head, it's like, I can feel the difference. I can totally, because it's coming from underneath and it's like packed, old snow that's packed and then it goes and gets through the crystals that are underneath the mountain, and then it comes out in the sunlight and it's like, oh, it's magnificent. I mean, how we're like, you become a foodie or something and you love flavors and this and that, man. I'm telling you, you drink that water and you're like, what? Water tastes good? That's crazy. Anyways, where was I? I'm almost finished here. Okay. Calorie restriction and longevity go hand in hand. No too many calories suppresses autophagy. I just overate at a friend's house and I had to come home and take a nap. It's all right though, as we get back into a constructive schedule habits. Like I said, you got to start some kind of constructive habit and then keep it up, because it's just what happens is, as a health coach, when I taught my clients, is that once you start something like that, all these deconstructive habits kind of fall away, right? So once I meditate every morning with solfeggio frequency meditation music in the morning before I actually go out in the world, and I actually feel better and I can take deeper breaths and not get so emotionally charged when somebody cuts me off in traffic. Like, whoa. Oh wait, because you've had that little bit of meditation or a little bit of something, right?
Right.
Okay, where were we? Get back to constructive eating, fewer calories. Some recommended foods for stimulating autophagy are, of course, matcha green tea, turmeric, ginger, ginseng, immune-boosting mushrooms like cordyceps and reishi, berberine and elderberries, along with wild berries and all kinds of blackberries, blueberries, acai berries, etc., etc., etc. You always see me foraging for wild foods. Hint, wink, wink. Okay, so yeah, because in some of my early videos, I made the, what was it? I don't know. I've got this thing called Beholder series, and basically I'm just out wild foraging and riding my bike. Anyways, so yeah, wild foods, man. So yeah, farmers markets or grow your own food for sure. Stimulating the lymph system through sweating, exercise, yoga, heat saunas, infrared saunas, hot springs, spicy foods, swimming, anything that keeps your blood flowing can help with flushing out the toxins in our biological body and stimulating autophagy. So that is that. Now, before we go on, any questions?
So about when you were just saying that after the certain foods we take and some of the leftover get put into our system, how you think is the best method in getting rid of those toxin that's been stored in our fat?
Yeah, that was one of the tips that I told you about that. Either, just getting a big bottle of raw apple cider vinegar at night, or making that hot fire cider. That's one of the best ways to do it without even exercising. I mean, literally, you can make a big giant bottle of that, put it in the fridge, and then don't eat after 7 o'clock and drink some of that, like dilute it, and let it do its work, and then eat tomorrow, not early in the morning. Just do some liquids in the morning without milk or without anything, right? Like teas, water, all of that, and then break your fast later, like in the afternoon or whatever. But that's one of the best ways
to get rid of the toxins
of like the toxic fat. Is what you're talking. There's an actual terminology, I forgot. It's called white fat. I think it's called white fat. Brown fat, I think is it brown fat that's good fat? I don't know. There's a different like brown fat, I think they call the coconut oil type fats and stuff that you got. It's a good for burning. So like when I'm exercising a lot, so that's why I put a little bit of extra virgin coconut oil in my like morning tea. Plus it's kind of tastes better or something. But that's kind of what I burn a lot. Or I'm not perfect either. Like I had some like Philadelphia like smoked salmon cream cheese on a bagel, which is like it had some wheat, regular wheat gluten in it. So I mean, I'm not perfect. I try to eat not like any kind of wheat gluten. Because that just lines your walls, right? And so you can't get as much nutrition inside your cells. You know what I mean? So yeah, there's a certain way to like, basically what I used to teach is, mostly out of the ground, off the vine and off the tree, because it also has the bacteria on it. I mean, we used to forage and eat like wild mushrooms, but it had all kinds of cool bacteria on the mushroom, right? That we needed, like just like on grapes, like in the Mediterranean, that Mediterranean diet was like they were eating like some of the yeasts and some of the bacteria that were on the grape skins itself, which nowadays you have to take a probiotic that's a spore probiotic that's like Saccharomyces boulardii, which is like a yeast, and that used to just be on grapes. I mean, yeah, there's spore probiotics or soil-based organisms that we used to get, like Bacillus subtilis, Bacillus coagulans, which is actually in kombuchas a lot, and there's another one I forgot. There's like 3 main ones, but there's all kinds of other ones too. There's all these strains that we're missing out of our gut, and that really hurts us.
Yeah.
Because remember, my perspective to take on is that this avatar of yours is basically mostly water and microorganisms held together by that electromagnetic field. And in that electromagnetic field is that higher consciousness, which is kind of operating this thing, right? And in your soul, right? Your soul, your spirit, your aura, your chakras, your etheric, your subtle energy body, your etheric body, right? There's this other light body too. And then that is kind of the structure or the template. And then it holds together this human template. Anyways, any other questions?
No.
Okay. So I wanted to give you guys even more tips, and kind of this will probably help answer more of the questions that you had. Sam? Yeah, Sam. Right? Brad.
Yeah.
Brad.
Yeah, Brad.
Brad. Alchemical. Oh, what I was gonna do here. Let's see where we're at here. Epigenetics, gene activation. See, so here's the here's a good slide too. The exercise, the nutritional factors, the Mediterranean diet, and then the keto diet's really good. But what you should, I don't think you should. I mean, as far as I know, I don't think you should stay on the keto diet. I think it was a thing. The keto diet was like the bodybuilders that got them onto a better diet. It's like it was for taking a fat. It was almost for fasting and taking away all the body fat that they built up and then slimming it down to just muscle, just to see the anatomical you know, structures better. So I personally think the keto diet is to get your body used to like a certain type of diet, not to stay on it totally all the time. I think it's to use it, you know, at whenever you need to. It's kind of like when you do a colon cleanse, or you do some things during a year. You know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna do a juice fast. I'm gonna do it. I don't know if we have, because then you can't eat chocolate.
That's right.
What? Or
Forget that.
if you're too strict about it, then you're not going to be able to. Seems like you're not going to be able to enjoy your life as much. I don't know.
Right.
Yeah, but anyways, and then obviously an anti-inflammatory. Like, think about. I already said this before, but in India, they do all the curries and stuff because they're combining the turmeric root with the ginger and the pepper and stuff like that. And that is just the greatest anti-inflammatory. I mean, that's why those guys are yogi masters over there. They can, because they're eating anti-inflammatory foods, and they can stretch and do all those weird, crazy yoga positions. And then emotional health too, obviously, and it kind of goes hand in hand with the environment. If you're going for walks in nature, right, and you're getting clean air, you're oxygenating, or you're meditating by a stream, that's good for your emotional and spiritual health too, right? Okay. Let's see. What? Epigenetic mechanisms, histine. Oh, I had talked about this. Methyl groups. Oh, there was a good slide when I was talking about all the methyl groups and stuff, and the DNA activation. Yeah. And modifying and helping. See, these kind of holistic health tips, right? For like the different foods, the exercise, the meditation, the outdoor walk, all of these things are intermittent fasting or whatever. That also is helping with these particles that are coming in, the cosmic rays that are causing stresses on our endocrine and nervous system and stuff. So this will help with the Ascension symptoms. What? Is that it? Oh, that's what I was. All right. Slide. Oh, what was I going to show you guys too? Something over here. Hang on, everybody. Over here. Where's my thing? Over here. Like that, maybe up here, where all of these blogs were. I have to split the screen now. Where'd I go? Zoom meeting. Split screen. Here. I just wanted to show the here. Yeah, I wanted to show, is this coming up my website?
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
okay, cool. Yeah. So there's the website, and then to all the posts too that are in there too. So what was the one? Okay, 18. So let's go to that. Let's see where it's at. Is that it? Oh, there it is right there. Oh, cool. Okay, let's go to that. Epigenetic health and helping our dormant DNA reignite, because that's what we want. If we can do some of these and kind of help within this process, you know, the ascension process or this transmutational process that's happening, man. Because then when we're meditating, we can get closer to that fifth dimensional consciousness, you know, and hopefully make some wiser choices.
Mhm.
Right?
Mhm.
Okay. So this is where we're reading. Okay. So epigenetics, the study of heritable changes in gene expression, active versus inactive genes, and that do not involve changes to the underlying DNA sequence, a change in the phenotype without a change in genotype, which in turn affects how cells read the genes. Epigenetic change is a regular and natural occurrence, but can also be influenced by several factors, including age, environmental and lifestyle, and disease state. Epigenetic modifications can manifest as commonly as the manner in which cells terminally differentiate to end up as skin cells, liver cells, brain cells, etc. Our epigenetic change can have more damaging effects that can result in diseases like cancer. At least 3 systems, including DNA methylation, histone modification, which we talked about, and non-coding RNA-associated gene silencing, are currently considered to initiate and sustain epigenetic change. So, which leads us, hint, hint, I probably won't say it here, but the RNA modification thing,
Mhm.
the jabbing,
Mhm.
you know, the recent pandemic thing,
Mhm.
and then adding graphene oxide into the mix or whatever they mix into it because people don't read the labels of what they're injecting into their body. Anyways,
Mhm.
hint, hint, RNA modification. So, what kind of modification are they doing that would ruin our actual natural evolution? Which is this ascension process really is about. It's an evolution, because if your
Mhm.
avatar can hold more energy, it's going to combine more DNA sequencing, right?
Mhm.
Okay, so
Is there
that
a
was a
way? Is there a way to combat that if you've had that thing in
yeah,
the last?
there's a whole bunch of protocols for, and there's better ones, and I'll have to get back to, I'll have to like I probably have to go and it's in my emails and stuff. There's people that have like really cool protocols. It's kind of goes along the lines of heavy metal detoxing, basically.
Okay.
Yeah, because of the
Okay.
graphene oxide and stuff like that that's in it. But
Okay.
yeah, there's definitely some protocols. I have to go back into my emails. There's some of definitely trying to get rid of it. A friend, there's a kid who I helped raise, my friend's kid, and I just went and visited him this summer. Anyways, I had to buy a bunch of different things like some respiratory stuff, some mullein leaves, all kinds of different stuff to get him going, and some colloidal silver too, because it's a
Mhm.
monatomic element, and it will help grab
Mm.
those kind of toxic electrons and then help you flush out stuff too. Uh,
Okay.
so yeah, there's all kinds of different things you can do, but it goes along the lines of heavy metal detoxing.
And I
Okay.
was at I happened to stop at a Scientology establishment, and one of they detox method, I never tried it, but I thought it was cool. They do a niacin drip,
Uh-huh.
where it's
Massive
like a 30.
vitamin C or B6 or whatever. Right. B6.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's a B complex, and they do a niacin drip for like 30 minutes, and they supposed to help out with your detox also.
Well, yeah,
Okay.
they there's a medical, not just the food. There's another protocol with hydrogen peroxide too. And you have to look into food grade hydrogen peroxide. They've lowered it now. It's only like food grades like 12%. It used to be 32% or something like that. Anyways, I did a whole blog and on oxygenated therapy, oxygen
Mhm.
therapy. It's in here. It's on my website, but it's also a little video too on YouTube. So there's all different types of, I mean, literally when people get an oxygen drip, like extra oxygen or whatever it's called, I can't
Yeah.
even think. It's medical oxygen or medical hydrogen peroxide. Basically, it's a medical one, and they put it
Hmm.
in your saline solution.
Wow.
It cures everything.
Really?
Yes, because if you're oxygenating your bloodstream and your blood cells and stuff, it's helping you with your all your white blood cells, right? Your ones
Mhm.
that get rid of all the toxins and your immune system.
Right.
It flushes everything out. That's all they have to do. We all just have to have, and that's kind of one of the reasons why you're exercising, breathing, and you're outdoors breathing, and you're getting
Mhm.
more oxygen in your cells,
Mm-hmm.
right? And then
Okay.
if you can, and then
Okay.
that's why some of those guys in India that were doing the yoga masters too, just breathing. Maybe they're just doing a little fruitarian thing, a little bit here and there, and they're really working on their breath and getting
Mhm.
oxygen into their cells instead of wasting all their energy on like other things, like modern day stresses like we do. Oh no, I have
Mhm.
more bills. and
Mhm.
or and plus eating a lot, overeating, like,
Mhm.
I'm guilty. I don't know if you can see is
Mhm.
my hand up?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Anyways,
I'm guilty too.
Yeah.
okay.
We all are.
So where were we here? The nutrients. Okay, enter the metabolic pathways where they are manipulated, modified, and molded into molecules the body can use. One which pathway is responsible for making methyl groups. Important epigenetic tags that silence genes, familiar nutrients like, here we go, folic acid, B vitamins. Good job there, Brad.
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
Sam E. S. I can't even pronounce this. S. And adenylyl methylamine, a popular over-the-counter supplement, are key components of this methyl-making pathway. Diets high in these methyl-donating nutrients can rapidly alter gene expression, especially during early development when the epigenome is first being established. So our kids should make sure that, yeah, there's some B vitamins and stuff like that, right? Even if you're kind of doing the vegan or vegetarian kind of kids, raising your kids like that, you got to know some of the other things that you can get them if they're not eating the amino acids that are in certain proteins. But you don't want to, even if, I mean, there really actually is only, I mean, what did I say? There was like 20 to 30% of the amino acids in like a lot of the meats we eat and stuff anyways, and it takes so long to digest out of your guts. Like by the time it drops from your upper intestinal tract and your middle intestinal tract and your colon tract, it's like it takes forever to digest meat. I mean, literally, like the Native Americans, right? They just like during the winter, they dried the meats during the winter so they could get through the winters.
Mhm.
Really. And other than that, they were foraging all the time.
Mhm.
Anyways, DNA methylation is a major epigenetic modification involving the addition of the methyl group to the 5' position of cysteine by DNA methyltransferase to form 5-methylcytosine 5-MC. This epigenetic mark has the power to turn genes on and off and can be inherited through cell division. Okay, diets to be shown and modify epigenetic tags in significant ways. The field of nutrigenomics explores how food and epigenetics work together to influence health and well-being. I'm telling you, if you're gonna have a stir fry, make it curry.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, I told you that I put my I buy like the organic ginger root and turmeric root, and I put those in my smoothies too with my like power greens. My
Mhm.
I use lately, since I'm not making my own coconut yogurt, I put some kefir, some really good one, the organic kefir
Mhm.
in there
Mhm.
to extra probiotics. What else do I put? I have some powders too. I put the like either a whey protein or the organic egg white protein, or anyways. But that's for me because I work out. But okay, so I'm gonna go one methone. It's probably in here. Hold on. Ah, here we go. There it is. So yeah, some of the foods that you can do: sesame seeds, Brazil nuts, fish, peppers, spinach, epigenetic roll, synthesis. Okay, so some of these foods are listed right here, guys. So the leafy greens, sunflower seeds, nutritional yeast, liver for these, meat, liver, shellfish, milk, meats, whole grains, vegetables, nuts, um, enzymes, transfer measures, Sam Ear 5. Just want to go down this list. Egg yolks. Yeah, eggs. I mean, if if you can get some farmers' eggs though, like the real ones where they actually almost like have a chicken tractor, where those hens and like heirloom hens, not just regular hens, like there's all kinds of different species of
Mhm.
hens, right? And there's some real like the green eggs that you get, like there's some that get out the green eggs, not just the brown ones and stuff,
Mm.
and they eat the bugs and the bacteria and the grasses and stuff and the weeds. So sometimes they're eating like some of those cool like weeds too, like the dandelion, the weeds are in. So if you can get those kind of farmers, the farmed eggs or hens, those eggs, because the excuse me, the amino acids in them are just amazing.
Hmm.
It's like I said, I probably told you guys this story, but one of my girlfriends, we went out to Nebraska, and her grandfather was still farming, and he was eating like they had hens and eggs and stuff, and he was active, right? He was active, and the guy was 96 years old, and when he shook my hand, it crushed my hand. This guy was working outdoors, and he was super healthy, and he was like eating these really good farm eggs and stuff like that. I mean, they were still growing their own food and everything.
Yeah.
It was crazy. I
Yeah.
mean, the amount of work this guy could do, and he was 96 years old or whatever. I mean, it was crazy.
Mhm.
So obviously stay active. If you're not like me, like I have to go to the gym or go for walks or whatever, I have to stay active because I'm usually on the computer. So I have to do like this other stuff, right?
Hmm.
And so that's the list there. You guys can see it too. To add vitamin C. What else was that? Yeah, so all the different fruits too, of course, because they have the enzymes in it too, like digestive enzymes, the supplement that you take. But basically, like guavas and papayas and oranges, even like kale, broccoli, kiwi, strawberries. I mean, all of these things, all the fruits and stuff, they're good digestive enzymes too. And like one of the good things, like in the Caribbean, they do with just the rice and the black beans, but they also eat a lot of
Mhm.
the tuber. They eat a lot of the sweet potatoes and the purple potatoes, kind of like the purple yams that they have out of China or in Asia. Um, but those are really good for your microbiome too, like sweet potatoes, right? Because they're a fiber. It's like what do they call that? The prebiotics. Okay, so we're talking prebiotics, right? So the
Mhm.
fruits that are natural, the fruits and these kind of vegetables that can help your gut microbiome, because that's what help. And then when you're doing, like, if you have enough of the good bacteria, and then after it's digested, it will proliferate the good bacteria. So that's why a lot of the Caribbean people are very healthy too. And they're active, the active ones are anyways, the people that are active down there, and they eat like a lot of more like sweet potatoes and stuff. So just a hint, another tip, another health tip from Travis. Okay, so we've talked about all of that. Yeah, any more questions? I think we're gonna good there. We've already ran, yeah, over.
Right.
Any more tips? I mean, questions, you guys?
Yeah, I think you pretty much covered it. Majority of stuff. You know, the American diet isn't the best diet in the world. It's funny because one doctor, I was watching a doctor on television. He was a medical doctor, but he specialized in nutrition, and he was telling the audience. He said, "It's like, what should you eat?" Because they asked him, like, yeah, what's the most healthiest food that you? When I go to a grocery store, what should I be shopping for? He said, if you go to the grocery store and if you have an ingredient list, you don't want to eat it. so, so he was saying, stay to the natural stuff because it's unaltered.
Yeah, exactly. Just think of that when you go to every time you go to the store, you should only really mostly shop in the produce section.
Yeah,
I mean,
produce, yeah, exactly.
I mean, you should, you got to out of the ground, off the vine, off the tree.
Yeah.
Right? And that usually when it had the dirt on it too. I mean, when those are the two of the people that, I already said that, but the two of the people that lived the longest, right, was that guy in Sardinia that had his own garden, and he was on the interior. So he did have some of the Mediterranean diet, but he had his own garden. And then the lady in Okinawa that fermented her own foods, and she was on the interior. So but I'm sure she ate from the sea a lot too. But yeah, they lived like 120, 130 years or something crazy. I mean, it's just like, so yeah, getting your gut microbiome, basically, obvious, and that's why I say that perspective, right? Your avatar, take care of your avatar, because, and I think, and it helps your cognitive ability too, when you're, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you have any research on the cognitive part?
Oh yeah, I'm sure there's there's all kind. Well, yeah, there's all the research has been done on just plain old meditation, right?
Yeah, but at the same time, it's a lot. You throw in another side of it where they said it's different levels of certain what's the word I'm looking for? Certain it's almost similar to like you were saying earlier about the deficiencies in certain type of substances. And so they have that. I was reading something where they were saying like it's certain things that helps out the cognitive ability as well. And so I wonder if it's a test you can do to see if you're lacking in certain aspects in the cognitive part.
Yeah, there's those okay, well, in just like those regular genealogy type DNA tests. Well, there's other companies though, like what Rhonda Patrick, which has Found Your Fitness. Her company actually, you send in like ancestry.com, one of those DNA tests, but they take it further. They take the health part of it, and then they go through a whole entire list. Like you might have like my dad, I'm sure he had aluminum in his brain, because that's in like Bizquick and all those like products, right? It's on the label. It's like, and you're getting like heavy metal toxicity up in your brain tissue. Your brain's swishing around up there in liquids, like, and you're putting that stuff in your body, right? So yeah, that's why all those things they come up with Parkinson's or Alzheimer's or and
right.
and then the new kids that are being born too, right? To unhealthy parents and stuff like that. They're passing on all this bad stuff through their water.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. Anyways, I mean, it's, so yeah, there's other blogs and stuff right there on Brad on the website. And
Okay, yeah, I'll check it out.
I mean, there's tons of stuff. There's anyways, I think I'm gonna stop recording now, and then we can talk a little bit further. Okay. Where were we? Stop recording.